I think I would not restrict you to speak only about Sikhi.
Okay.
You can speak about any religion which has impressed you as a human being, and be open to that. That's where we are. So you have a freedom to express your thoughts. We are here to hear you, not very particular about us.
Okay. Thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Please.
Well, thank you so much for having me today. Thank you to Satguru Ji and also to Gumuk for inviting me along. So my job is I teach teachers. So when people are going into schools to train as teachers, as RE teachers in schools, I teach them. And that's because I was a teacher for 15 years in secondary schools, teaching religious education. And I left university with a degree in theology, and I got my first job, and I was asked to teach Sikhi. And I basically had not really encountered any elements of Sikhi in my life. I knew basics. I knew that Sikhs wore turbans, and I knew that wasn't enough because some of the children that I was teaching were Sikh. And so very much I began to research and to learn. And then a few years ago, I was in the university and I was asked to write a series of books about different world religions. And I began by exploring Sikhi, and to do that, I live in Manchester. And no, I don't support Manchester United. I don't think anybody should. Sorry. And so I spent a lot of time with Sikhs in Manchester, kind of exploring and realizing that my understanding of Sikhism and Sikhi as a whole only scratched the surface. And it also helped me realize I am a person of faith, so I'm a Christian myself. And there's a teaching, something called holy envy, which is the idea you look at someone else without letting go of who you are. You look at somebody else and think, well, what can I learn from them? And I have to say and I'm not just saying this because you're sat there, I promise, but I've probably learned the most from Sikhs. Because within my own faith tradition, and I use this example quite often, is I am commanded to help other people. Because when I am in the service of God, when I'm in the service of others, I'm only in the service of God. But sometimes I serve people because I want something, or because I feel as though I have to. I shared an example earlier where I helped somebody change their tyre, and I begrudged it all the way through it because I'm thinking, I need to get home. I don't really want to be doing this, but I should. And then I encounter Sikhs, and just the idea of Seva is the thing that one of the things that inspires me most, and the idea that you give without thought, even of thanks. And it's just so nice to see. But the other thing that really impresses me, especially within today's society, and is perhaps the greatest need, is the focus of Guru Nanak Ji on equality and on the idea that, first of all, there's no Hindu nor Muslim, that caste distinctions should be broken down, that gender equality, it was radical for his time. And unfortunately, it's radical today as well, because we live in a society that tries to divide. And so that's something that just has impressed me. Now, my own version, it's not mine, but my Christianity is a very small group within Christianity. And oftentimes I am told I am not Christian because of certain beliefs that I hold. And I realized a number of years ago that same issue I have with Christianity, and it's not an issue I have, but people have with me, is the same within Islam, for example, with Ahmadiyya and with Shia. And when I wrote my book about Sikhi, I came across Namdari. And looking at all of you today and dressed in white, it reminds me so much of those teachings and also what we can learn from each other. Because when I teach, I'm not teaching people to become religious, but I'm teaching people to understand one another. And so that's kind of why I'm here today. I mean, it's been great to meet all of you, because the moment you put a face to a belief, prejudice begins to break down, and you're less intolerant of others. And so just the opportunity to be with you on this walk, to meet Satguru Ji, and to do all of those things is just amazing.